Hello everybody, it's me Alexthehunted, and today we're in the midpoint of the heisei era with Godzilla vs Mothra Battle for the Earth. And this is yet another Godzilla movie that wasn't supposed to be a Godzilla movie. It was meant to be Mothra's own movie, and then Toho, basically last minute, panicked and forced Godzilla into it. And you can really tell. So let's take a look at the Battle for the Earth. So our movie begins in space, with some early 90s CGI asteroid heading towards the Earth and smashing into the sea, waking up Godzilla and the opening credits, where a big storm has come and washed away the model of a mountain, revealing the Easter Bunny's hideout. Or the Kilak's hideout, but this isn't Destroy All Monsters. We then go into the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I'm not joking, this is basically a rip-off of the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark, only much cheaper. I mean, I don't remember these ancient tombs being made of red bricks. So after playing Legends of the Hidden Temple, our hero manages to escape, but is now looking down the barrel of a gun. Like, seriously, how much like Raiders of the Lost Ark can you get? This is our main hero, another Japanese name I really can't pronounce. Takuune Fuji? I think that's it. He's an archaeologist that likes breaking the law. That sounds familiar. Anyway, he's now in jail for desecrating an ancient tomb. However, he might have found a way out with a new job and some really badly dubbed lines.
I brought someone. She's 30, she's a distinguished archaeologist, and she's single.
The hell does that have to do with anything? Especially when it's revealed later on that these two used to be married. So really, that's just rubbing it in. So they basically have a deal for him. Go on an expedition to find a thing on a strange island. While this expedition is being explained to him, our hero decides to eat a lemon. Because he's cool or something? I don't know. Him being cool quickly fades when he declines the offer and is told he's going to be in jail for 15 years. I think we missed the whole trial part, but he quickly changes his mind and agrees. We cut to, oh hey, it's Akira Takahata. He's back again finally doing a Godzilla movie after years. And he's, well, completely wasted. Boo. They basically just use him to push this sort of environmental message, and yeah, it's more of that stuff. More boo. Oh well, he's looking over where the asteroid impacted, where it seems to have disturbed something, but it's not just Godzilla. We see something else hiding in the water in the background, and it doesn't look like Godzilla, and it seems to have Rodan's roar. And we're off to Infinite Island, where we're joined by a business guy who is interested in business for his boss. That sounds familiar, almost like they're directly remaking Mothra vs Godzilla. They get on the island and begin their expedition. And what does that include? Well, more Indiana Jones ripping off. And some wacky antics, which feels like this is more like a children's movie, less of a heisei era movie. It just feels so different to the rest of the heisei era. I mean, we have our wacky heroes doing some wacky slapstick, and oh look, the businessman is so out of his elements because he's wearing a suit in the jungle. This is directly aimed towards kids, apparently. But it's only this part of the movie, the rest of it is more basic heisei stuff. I wouldn't be on this so much, but this part takes up so much of the movie and it really leads up to nothing. We already know that they're going towards the egg because they showed it in the opening credits. And when we see where the egg is, it was basically a massive waste of time because, well, it's on the other end of the island. They could have just sailed around it, and they're just basically doing this whole dangerous expedition to waste time. It's filler. Why could they have not just sailed around the island? Anyway, they also find some cave paintings about Mothra and a different new kind of monster. And also a talking plant. Well, not really. It turns out to be the Shobijin, who in this movie are called the Earth's Cosmin. Basically the guardians of the planet. Doing a bang-up job. They and Mothra are basically gods, and their job is to look after the Earth's balance. So the fact that everything happened in the heisei era so far, according to them, is completely normal. They also reveal that the Earth is a living being and has feelings, and many years ago an ancient civilization upset the Earth, causing it to create the evil monster Battra. I guess it explains why the original title for this movie was Godzilla vs Mothra, the Earth Gets Triggered. Yeah, seriously, this is a really weird thing to come out of the blue. The Earth is a living being and created Battra because it was upset that an ancient civilization was being too, well, ancient civilization evil, I guess. Businessman gets in contact with his boss and tells them about the egg and Mothra. The boss's first idea is to ship the egg back to Japan and make an amusement park around the egg. Yeah, this is basically the remake of Mothra vs Godzilla. So with that, they head back to the ship, and they're suddenly just back there, having spent a few days doing this expedition. They are now just on the boat. I mean, yeah, that basically means that this whole expedition slapstick part at the start of the movie was a massive waste of time. They talk about shipping the egg back, and the fairies agree with them, saying that they trust the businessman and hope humanity won't make the same mistake that caused Battra in the first place. Oh, you poor naive idiots. So G-Force spots something massive moving underwater, and despite the fact that the audience and our main characters have just found out about Battra, G-Force already know about him. This movie's logic is all over the place, but I mainly blame the dub. This is made by the same people who did Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah's dub, and it's just as terrible. Seriously, both these movies need a redub. So G-Force sent out some jets to destroy Battra and watch on. And oh look, they have a little Godzilla toy on their desk, which means in the Heisei universe, there is a toy company out there who has made a toy out of Godzilla, a creature that has killed thousands of people. So the jets attack, and as usual they do jack shit, and Battra just rams into a cliff and starts digging. Meanwhile, Businessman has sent over a giant cargo carrier to ship the Mothra egg back, and I just have to ask, how the hell did they manage to move the egg onto the boat? Anyway, they set sail and take the egg back to Japan to make Mothra land. The happiest place on Earth, or I think that's already taken. So Battra emerges in Nagoya and does some good old rampage, and I really love the Battra lava design. I think I actually like it more than the adult form. It's standing upright and it looks so big and intimidating, and with a good strong mix of colours with primary black, red and yellow. It just makes it look so sinister. So the tanks arrive and do nothing, and Battra makes them go boom. Some of the city destruction shots were some of the first times that Toho spliced the model shots with live action people running away, and it doesn't really work that well. You can tell where the splice is, especially when some of the rubble just disappears. So Battra blows up some stuff, destroys Tokyo Tower and gets bored and just disappears. However, back on the boat, something big is coming, and it's not Battra, so who could it be?
It's Godzilla.
About time he showed up, and so begins Godzilla's third wheel appearance in this movie. Seriously, Godzilla feels so unnecessary in this movie, and it's titled Godzilla vs. Mothra. He's the top billing, and he feels just so pointless in it. Mostly because Godzilla wasn't supposed to be in this movie, it was supposed to be Bagan. They cancelled Mothra's solo movie and made Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, which did much better, so they decided to throw Godzilla in with Mothra for the next movie, and well, yeah, it really does show that this was quick rewrites. So as Godzilla approaches, Indy goes to release the boat carrying the egg, since Godzilla seems to be interested in that, only for Businessman to try and stop him as they get into a fight, as he would rather die than disappoint his boss. Yeah, I know many people like that at work. However, the boat is disconnected from the tug, and the egg is left at Godzilla's mercy, until it hatches, revealing the lava Mothra. And isn't she just so cute, and she's only seconds old and she's already in mortal danger and has to fight. And she does so by biting Godzilla's tail.
Ah, son of a mother!
You punched me in the face!
You bit my tail!
You punched me in the face!
You bit my f***ing tail!
Yeah, well, I still haven't used my shirt. Does that mean I win?
Yes! Yes! You win!
What do I win?
Another bath!
But I'm not dirt.
Just tell me when you need to come up for air.
So with Godzilla and Mothra fighting, a new challenger emerges, and it's Battra, who makes sure to fling Mothra across the water, and then attacks Godzilla, Mothra choosing that time to get the hell out of there. As the two fight, they drag each other underwater, and it would be cool to see these two fight underwater, but it's lit really dark and there's this water filter over everything, so you can't see a damn thing. So the two keep fighting, Godzilla swinging Battra around, and then all of a sudden a fissure opens up and some lava erupts out of the earth, because I guess the earth wants to join into this fight too. And the two monsters are too busy fighting to notice, and the fissure opens up around them and they both sink into the lava and presumed dead. And we're only halfway into this movie, so it must be true. The gang make it back to the hotel, with Businessman getting drunk because he didn't bring his giant egg back to his boss. And the other two talk about their being together in the past, and oh god, you just know where this one's going. Just hook up already. So the morning after, it turns out that Businessman has kidnapped the fairies and has taken them back to his boss, where he plans to make them stars and be their manager and take all their money and make them singers and... yeah, okay. He also orders Businessman to get them Barbie accessories so the fairies will have a home and... yeah, that whole... fairies, you know, that whole trusting humanity thing, it's working out great. Okay boss, I brought you these two fairies that have the power of the cosmos and can control a giant kaiju. What are we going to do with them? I want to turn them into singers! Okay, you're the boss. Oh, and also the divorced couple have a kid, and yes, she is basically the female Kenny of this movie. It's called her Kelly or something. So Kelly finds her mum and wants to know what happened to her dad, who was just right there a minute ago, but he has ran off because he is a deadbeat dad and a piece of shit. So earthquakes are happening around Mount Fuji, which is alarming. Meanwhile, the Mothra twins decide that now is the time to maybe call Mothra for help, as they decide they don't really like their Barbie mansion and they call Mothra for help. And we get a new version of the Mothra song. I'm not really a music expert, but it's a really nice rhythm and the singing isn't dubbed, so, thank God we got that. Mothra hears their calls and decides, well, I'm about to day old, I might as well go save my dumbass guardians, and set sails off to Japan. So with Mothra on the way, the military do what they always do and deploy their ships and hope to destroy Mothra, and we just all know how that's going to go. Mothra even gets in on the destroying military action and blows up a ship. While that's going on, our two fairies have escaped to Indiana Dunce, who has taken them and is trying to sell them off. Our hero, everyone, a neglectful father who steals artifacts and tries to sell them on the black market. So Mickey can hear the two fairies singing because she is psychic, and our real heroes try to track down the fairies before Mothra can destroy them all. And just like that, Mothra has arrived and is peacefully destroying the city, all in the name of love and protecting all life, and isn't this just friendly, peace-loving fire? Peace and love, humanity, I care for you all, I love you all, but you took my fairies and now you shall die. Also, the animatronic of Mothra catches fire in the scene. So our heroes track down the fairies to deadbeat dad, and his daughter spots him and says hi, and the mum shows up and berates him for being a deadbeat piece of shit, and oh good dear God. Bloody hell, I know that shot was supposed to look all cute and that, but it just looks really, really creepy, like something you'd see off Wizard of Oz or something, like...
I am Oz, the great and powerful.
So Kelly guilt trips deadbeat dad into giving the fairies, just as Mothra arrives and starts destroying the hotel, with the family and fairies inside, which is not really a smart move on Mothra's part because what if she accidentally kills them? Anyway, the fairies are poorly chroma keyed up to the ledge where they talk to Mothra and tell her that she can stop attacking everything and goes home. And Mothra starts to leave, and she won't destroy anything else. Apart from that. So with Mothra leaving, the military decide that now is the time to attack and open fire at Mothra, blasting her with shells, and she crashes into the Capitol building. Everyone thinks that Mothra's dying, but actually she's ending her larva stage and starts cocooning herself, in a really lovely scene with the twins singing as Mothra cocoons herself. And it goes on for way too long, and it brings the whole movie to a complete dead stop. Yes, we get it, Mothra is cocooning herself and it's taking a very long time. Can we get on with it, please? So things finally get going again as Mount Fuji erupts. Yes, that's one hell of a way to get things back up and running, but who caused this eruption? Well, who do you think? This might be Godzilla's most badass entrance of all time. He's coming out of a volcano again, and the cinematography is just so much more epic than the last time. He's also then pointed out that he managed to swim through the Earth's mantle, and he isn't even phased. My Godzilla is just so badass. That means he can survive temperatures of over 3,700 degrees Celsius, which is 6,692 degrees Fahrenheit, for everyone using the wrong system. Oh, also, Bossman gets chewed out by Businessman, who I think just quits and walks out on him, and we then get some fine acting.
I don't care! I don't care. I don't care!
So with Godzilla up and around and Mount Fuji erupting, things are a pretty big deal. So G-Force launches their table to spin round for no real reason when they could have just walked to this new screen, which I guess, okay, fine. We also get some fancy 1992 computer-generated imagery as they zoom in on Godzilla. And we also get this really weird dub line.
Huh? What do you say? Godzilla! Godzilla's still alive!
Well, yes, you know that, you just watched it on screen. And with that, Mothra finally comes out of her cocoon. Ah, isn't she beautiful? Such grace. And oh my god, the poisonous cloud is coming out of the cocoon. It's sweeping over the city. Oh my god, my lungs! My eyes, it burns! So Mothra continues to get out of her cocoon, and honestly, it looks like she's struggling quite a bit. It's taking her time. You might have to go a few more verses on this song. She's getting out now, and she's spreading her wings, and finally she is able to fly away. As they realise that if Godzilla's managed to survive, that must mean that Battra has survived. as we see Battra emerge from the sea in a much more cooler transformation, and it's also a lot quicker too. While that's going on, the military decide to attack Godzilla and see if they can change his course so he can go back into the sea. And as usual, it just doesn't work, and they send over their new flying fighter jets, which also do nothing but also sound very familiar. So Mothra and Battra meet, starting one of the only few dogfights we ever get in the Godzilla franchise, with the two colliding into each other and Battra blasting Mothra with her eye beams, and blowing up some buildings, and also a bridge. Mothra gets blasted back down to the ground, and seems to be out for the count, just as Godzilla arrives, and Battra then focuses her attention onto Godzilla, dropping a building onto him. Battra gets up close, just as Godzilla bursts out of the rubble and throws Battra around, blasting her with his atomic breath. This is a decent final battle, just the problem is the same as with most Godzilla vs. puppet fights, is not really much happens. It's mostly just the puppets flying around for a few scenes and shooting their beams at Godzilla because they don't really want to get up close and damage the puppet and the strings. So there's not much that really happens in this fight. So Mothra gets back into the fight and decides to help Battra because, I mean, you know, Battra did try to kill her and they have been fighting each other for millions of years, but sure, help Battra because Godzilla needs something else to fight. Really, I think this is a missed opportunity because this would have been one of the only freeway fights we have ever got in the Godzilla franchise. No teaming up, just three monsters fighting each other at the same time. That would have been so much better as Godzilla, Mothra and Battra aren't on anyone's side and they're just attacking each other. It's just such a missed opportunity, I think. So with Mothra fighting Godzilla, blasting him with her own beams, she causes another building to fall on him, and then goes off to Battra to have a chat and heal her. Godzilla gets up from the building again, and Mothra goes to attack him, and she starts using her glitter scales attack, which is so fabulous that she's actually winning the fight. Until Godzilla uses his atomic pulse, blasting her into a Ferris wheel. Godzilla shoots it with her atomic breath, and it's about to fall on Mothra, and I guess they're thinking that's going to kill her or something, but Battra saves her. And she is now a good guy. Battra flies the Ferris wheel into Godzilla, having him knocked down for a third time. This really isn't a good day for Godzilla. I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be in this movie, and now he's just spending the whole final battle getting his ass kicked and losing. He doesn't really do anything. Mothra and Battra just fly around shooting their beams at him. So with Mothra and Battra teaming up and just flying around out of Godzilla's reach, he can't really do anything, and this final battle kind of ends on a bit of an anticlimax because they're just shooting their beams at him. It's not that good, but at least the cinematography is good. So after being shot a few more times, Godzilla goes down again, and Mothra and Battra decide to pick up Godzilla and carry him out to sea. Which sounds very familiar, but this is basically an identical ending from the last movie. It's even identical in having two kaiju fall into the ocean, as Godzilla kills Battra, getting at her neck and having her bleed out. Battra and Godzilla falling into the sea. Mothra then creates a sort of seal, I guess to imprison Godzilla or something, but due to the fact that this is never brought up again and Godzilla doesn't seem to break out, or, you know, he's just up and around in the next movie, I guess it didn't work. But yeah, the final battle is done with Mothra being the only survivor, and yeah. So then it's time to wrap up, and it is revealed that there is going to be a huge meteorite to hit the Earth in 1999, and Battra is going to stop that meteorite, but now that she's dead, Mothra is going to do that instead. And that's great and all, but aren't we forgetting something? Isn't there something really important that's going on right now that we should be dealing with? Like, oh yeah, that's right, Mount Fuji erupted! This is a massive deal and you're not even going to bring it up? One of the largest mountains in Japan is erupting over the country and you're not even doing anything about it? We got our standard Save the Earth environmental message from the two twins as they go off to Mothra and they reveal that they could fly this whole time, so getting kidnapped was completely avoidable, as they could just fly away, you assholes. So with that, Mothra flies away and everyone waves her off and she flies off into space, and the end of our movie. And that was Godzilla vs. Mothra Battle for the Earth. A fairly average Godzilla movie, honestly, and it really does suffer from very quick rewrites. It's definitely the most kid-friendly Heisei era Godzilla movie, as it's clearly that's what they were going for. Godzilla does feel like such a third wheel in this movie, and that's because it was originally supposed to be Bagan who was the antagonist for this movie, and he was going to have more of a reason to fight these two than Godzilla did. Godzilla being the antagonist, it doesn't really work for this movie because He has no reason to be there. He's just there. He's the antagonist just because. He has no real motivation. He's just basically the victim in a way, really. The two monsters attack him just because he's there. But yeah, it's not a very good Godzilla movie. The main cast are, well, the main hero is very annoying and very unlikable. But yeah, it does have some good sets, and you know, it's a Heisei era movie, so it's got a very good quality about it, but it's very, very average. It's just fine. That's really all I can say about it. So yeah, just if you want to be a Heisei completionist, watch that one, but you're really not going to miss anything if you don't watch it. And with that, let's head back to the wheel, and I will see you guys next time when I review... Oh. Oh God, no.